It's become embarrassing to have ever been a part of Amber's life on and off YouTube.
Beck is going to react to some comments Amberlynn made during a live stream. One of the reasons Beck felt compelled to speak.
She lies about me because she thinks that she has power over me and that my fear of the public reaction will shut me up and that everyone will be left with no choice but to believe whatever lies she spread.
The first comment is regarding the money Amberlynn gave to Beck to help with the move.
When we broke up, I felt bad, so I let her have all the money she needed, but Feline didn't like that, which makes sense.
Of course, Jade would have an issue with this, considering she liked to control Amberlynn and had little regard for the hole Amberlynn put Beck in during the course of their 4 years together.
Becky, will you give wifey tips on how to talk Amberlynn out of a bitch? Okay, so I have some tea to share. It's kind of a sub dom moment. How long has wifey been a sub for? She's not. Oh wait, are you talking about subscriber? Wait, are you guys talking about subscriber or like sub dom? I'm leaving. She's not submissive, by the way. Like, if she tells me no, like, I can't do it.
She gave me $100, and that's what I used to go get the Uhaul with, and I only had one day with that Uhaul. I had a little breakdown and was crying about it, saying I didn't know how I was going to pay for extra time with the Uhaul because I didn't have the time to get everything.
I haven't even got my Funko Pops down yet. I'm going to try to have as much as I can done by the morning time and then keep going in the morning.
Meanwhile, you can hear Amberlynn and Eric in the background while Beck packs alone.
Have the Uhaul back by like 3-ish. I'm sure you guys can hear everybody talking.
Here's how Beck describes Amberlynn's reaction to Beck stressing over moving in one day.
She started laughing about it. So no, she obviously didn't feel bad. She didn't care at all.
Basically.
She did not give me all the money that I needed, or else why would I have been struggling and crying about the fact that I couldn't afford to have the U-Haul longer?
Amber, do you want Becky to move out ASAP? No. She can move out. Like, I hope that she waits until the lease is up. I have no problem with her being here.
Beck has said the GoFundMe money raised was used to fix the car that drove Amberlynn around for the last 4 years. But because Beck used some of the money on other expenses, Amberlynn feels safe saying Beck didn't even use the money on the car. Lies.
And about using the fundraiser money on my old car, that's exactly what I did.
I had car payment, car insurance, had to put gas in the car, food, I had to have my bills paid. I had a storage with housing stuff, like that had been given to me, like a couch and some personal belongings. How far do you guys think that I could even get on $2,000?
Becky, would you ditch sooner if money wasn't a thing? Money is still not a thing. It's never been a thing.
Yeah, because with what I pay her, she could literally live by herself.
I was able to drive that car up until a few months ago because of those donations.
Beck might have forgot what the money was used for, because now it was only used on the Netflix bill owed to Amberlynn.
The only portion used for anything else was the $12 or so that Amber begged me to give her for the Netflix account I'd still been using.
I stopped using all of Amberlynn's like Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, so I don't have to pay that stuff anymore. I do still owe for 1 month of Netflix, but it's not that pressing and I don't have that extra money right now.
Beck kind of indicates where the money from the live streams went.
But I had paid it in the past from my live stream money and whatnot, of course, because that's what you do whenever you are splitting bills with someone. She decided that we would split bills. So all of my live stream money went to bills. So I didn't actually have any of that to fall back on.
I chose to make myself a boss.
Beck addresses the debit card situation during their relationship.
I did not have her debit card on me all the time. The only time I had it was whenever she would send me to do errands for her or to pick something up for her. And I always came back with a receipt to show her what had been bought with her debit card. The only thing that she really would buy me is like food and candy and t-shirts.
Amberlynn has said that the first time she ever used her debit card was when she moved to Wisconsin in 2023.
Maybe when I used my debit card for the first time in the grocery store, there was a little bit of like, oh, well, this is new for me. A little bit of anxiousness.
Krystle, Destiny, Beck, and Jade were the only ones to use the debit card. They probably used the card at gas stations, ATMs, and debit machines at stores. Amberlynn would often order her food and groceries through apps, or she had cash on her in case of emergencies.
I'm wasting my money on you.
Damn.
Amberlynn manipulates the situation by saying she has so much to say about Beck that we would be shocked, but does not want to be sued by Beck.
Gosh, I wonder why they wouldn't believe you, Amber. You have a history of lying, and you're doing the same thing right now. You have nothing on me, and I know that.
I can think of one thing.
Becky is saving herself for me so we can break that dry spell. She hasn't been dry.
Shut up. Okay.
Wait, no. You know how bad I want to say something, but I won't for you.
You're not.
I won't for you.
In the name of Twinkie, you get your hand off of me right now and hush.
Wait, you don't like my hand no more?
Well, because I know what you're trying to talk about over there.
Y'all, a hootenberry happened. Hootenberry, hootenberry, that's my home.
She's losing it.
And I will not tell you the
Nothing
hootenberry.
happened.
But I give it about a month and she'll let me.
Oh, shit.
So just be holding on then. It just happened too soon. It was like a few days
If
ago.
you ever let it slip, I will fight for custody for Twinkie, and she'll be mine.
Her face. Okay.
Something else that would be interesting to know is the truth behind the screenshots of a conversation that Beck might have had with someone about Amberlynn that were leaked. Here's how those were explained.
Simon said they know who faked the screenshots.
Some unfortunate screenshots were leaked by someone talking to Becky. They were verified as real. Absolutely not. Becky is not that person. So do we.
Who is it?
Just some girl.
Some rando?
Some girl went through this whole like thing regarding it, and like it was like in depth, like crazy stalker status. And then I guess she had some guy like edit the screenshot to make it seem real. So
That is terrifying.
yeah.
Beck addresses what led to the threats of getting the law involved in their relationship.
I did threaten to sue you, but that was to stop you from relentlessly talking about me like you were. You had no reason to talk about me.
Almost 2 years ago, I was engaged. I kind of want to share how I got proposed to because it's rather unique, if you will.
You haven't said these shocking things because they don't exist.
Or maybe because
I will fight for custody for Twinkie.
Beck explains why there are things being held back.
I have so many gross things that I've seen you do, both to me and the people in my life, that I've kept quiet about because those things are embarrassing or have something to do with very personal matters.
And adds,
If you want to lie about me, I won't hold back. I'll be brutally honest about things I know about you.
Amberlynn is Beck's savior in her eyes because Beck was able to quit the cabinet building job at the beginning of their relationship thanks to Amberlynn's YouTube income. She adds the big red cherry on top by saying that makes her the bad guy, when in reality it's the unfair treatment of Beck after promising Beck more freedom and a steady income, then taking advantage of the situation and making Beck her caretaker. That makes her the bad guy. She's right on her last comment though. We would be surprised if Beck was the one taking advantage of Amberlynn in her immobile state as a source of income and company. Or would we? Let's face it, they were relying on each other. Amberlynn more than Beck, or Amberlynn would have ended it long ago.
Yes, in the beginning, she did make it seem that me quitting my job would be beneficial for my health. It was just a control tactic. She said she wanted to be the main breadwinner. All the things that she said I would be able to do, like see my family more, those things didn't happen. I was just stuck taking care of her.
This is what Beck says happened when the thought of looking for a new job came up, adding to our first point, Beck being the caretaker.
Whenever I talked about trying to get a job again, she would just guilt trip me and say, well, I need you here. I need you to help take care of me and to help me take care of the animals. She would just guilt trip me into not trying to find another job.
It's apparent Amberlynn knew Beck was ready to duck out of the relationship.
Whenever I would try to save up change, she would say things like, is that your funds for when you leave me? So I would even stop saving change to avoid that conflict with her.
Fortunately, through this relationship, Beck did learn the signs of financial abuse. So hopefully there won't be a next time.
In the end, me quitting my job wasn't about helping me. It was about controlling me and keeping me under her thumb.
Here's what Beck shared at the time about quitting the cabinet building job, basically blaming it on viewers.
Yes. I quit my job because people actually did call up there and try to start problems, and I'm not going to have that at my workplace.
Beck gets into Amberlynn controlling Beck's time to the point where Beck was barely able to visit relatives. In the beginning, they seemed to be staying with Beck's family a lot of the time, but this progressively happened less as Amberlynn was unable to leave the house.
She did keep me away from my family. And whenever I would go see my family, she would time me on when I had to be back. And if I wasn't back by that time, then it would be a fight for the rest of the night.
Beck shares more detail on the matter.
And then the next time that I would try to leave to go see anybody else, she would guilt trip me and say things along the lines of I didn't care about her and that I cared more about everybody else other than her.
Beck moves on to the last comment regarding Amberlynn being the bad guy for having Beck work from home with her.
Saying if that makes me the bad guy is so obviously manipulative. You're framing what you did to me in this positive light so that it looks like your intentions were good when they weren't.
Now that we have Beck's side of the story regarding the work situation, what are your thoughts? When Amberlynn said that she would do everything differently, the only difference in her relationship with Jade after Beck was that Jade was doing her own job while working from home. So she was still available to Amberlynn, but not financially reliant on her. We can only assume, based on her past, that Emily was probably guilted into staying home from work when Amberlynn was in any kind of emotional crisis. Here's what Beck had to say about Amberlynn changing.
You did a lot of bad. You said you'd do things different now, but you haven't taken any accountability. I feel like the only thing you would change is doing the exact same things in a way that would have made you look even better.
Beck takes power back from Amberlynn when summarizing these screenshots.
I just wanted to respond to that so it didn't seem like, she was able to spread lies about me and me me not speak up and fight for myself like she probably expected I wouldn't do.
Beck shares this photo of a car in the snow.
Winter storms that this area hasn't seen in years had us snowed in for almost 2 weeks. Just a couple days ago, on my way to get groceries, my car slid on ice while driving.
It's Beck's car.
A slip up happened. There was a pothole that she did not see. She had eggs in her hand, she had milk in her hand, and she had bacon in her hand, and she stepped in it and fell. And next thing you know, she was on the ground. You could tell she was in really bad pain. We ended up having to take her to the ER. It turns out that she messed up a tendon really bad. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
Him and Becky were in a bad car accident back in 2015.
I went and picked Ricky up. It had been raining a little bit. It started getting dark.
They hydroplaned and they flipped like, what, 3-4 times? 3 times?
The car went into a ditch, airbags deployed. The car landed on its side. Insurance deemed it totaled and does not cover rentals while the settlement is decided. Luckily, I'm physically okay.
But scared for the future because
Unsure of how I'll be able to keep my job, get to work these next few weeks, how I'm going to get a different car if the settlement isn't more than what I owe, since I've only had this for 2 months, or pay upcoming bills.
Beck kind of indicates here that the reason for making this video, responding to the screenshots of Amberlynn talking about Beck, was for financial help. It probably took a lot of time to get through the trauma of being with Amberlynn and to come to terms with Amberlynn's behavior. It did for Destiny.
I made this video because I know I can't entirely escape my past. None of us can. But at least maybe I can use it to try and better myself. It will be a month or 2 before I can make anything from this video. So if you want to help me out, I'll leave my Cash App in the description. You don't have to send money, but please be kind and think of me as a person who is trying, just like you.
Luckily, with help from viewers, the car was able to be towed out of the snow.
I want to thank all the people who helped me through their generous donations and super thanks. Because of you guys, I was able to pay for my car to be towed. I was able to make up the difference in rent this month, and you even helped ease my worries about covering my car and insurance payments while I wait for their claim decision. I was able to keep my job by getting rides to work and not continuing to miss too many days.
This is only the first video Beck made upon returning to YouTube in 2025.
I want to keep the positivity going and making this channel a safe place for all of us.
Subscribe for more videos in this Beck Talks series.